Dynasty buy or sell offseason edition, and we are continuing today with Miles Sanders, running back for the Philadelphia Eagles. There were so many running backs in this backfield. 2021, 137 attempts, 754 yards, 0 touchdowns. He did miss 5 games.
Yeah.
Look, Miles Sanders has been up and down his whole career. Now with Jalen Hurts, it feels like that's never going to happen with his rushing ability. Zach, are you buying or selling Miles Sanders?
Yeah, so in Dynasty, buy meaning I want to trade for him. I want to grab him at this price. Sell meaning I want to trade him away and get something in return. And I loved Miles Sanders out of Penn State. I thought he was, obviously he was never going to beat out Saquon. Saquon's just different, right? But after Saquon, he kind of showed that he was still a very, very good running back. And as far as talent-wise, I think he was one of the most talented running backs in that class, right?
Yeah.
However, I really viewed last year as a make or break year for him. Okay. I know I always say talent over situation, but it's a little bit more difficult to justify when you do look at Miles Sanders' situation here. Okay. 3 years in, 2 different coaching staffs. It's just really difficult to see Miles Sanders ever reaching his potential here in Philly. And that's made it a little bit difficult when you consider he's probably going to re-sign. Most running backs do after their first contract, especially ones that are drafted this high. So look, I am selling, and it doesn't have to do with his age. I'll explain why I am selling. Number one, let's look at what he's done so far. Okay. Has he ever rushed for over 1,000 yards in a single season? No, he hasn't. Okay.
Right.
867 yards in 2020 was his highest. I know he did miss 4 games, but still, I mean, he's never rushed for over 900 yards. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know that he's missed some games, but still, that should be a concern on its own that he's not able to finish these seasons healthy. Has his passing game, I mean, has he got more work in the passing game, right? Has that improved since his rookie year in 2019? Nope. It's actually gotten worse every single year. Okay. Most of that is not his fault. However, we can't ignore it. His most receptions in a single season ever came as a rookie. And he wasn't even the workhorse running back, okay? As a rookie in 2019, he had 50 receptions on 63 targets. In 2020, he had 22 less targets. 22 less receptions, 9 less targets. Okay, yes, he missed 4 games. And then if you compare 2020 to 2021, he had 2 less receptions, 18 less targets. Yes, he did miss 5 games last year as well. Even if we look at this on a per game basis, because I know some people could say, well, what about per game? Because per game is more accurate for sure. It doesn't get better. Okay. Per game. Okay. 2019 was still the best. Okay. 2019, he had 3.1 receptions per game on 3.9 targets per game. In 2021, those numbers are down 1 full number per game. Okay. So it's never gotten better. He's never rushed over 1,000 yards. He's never gotten the receptions that he should get, in my opinion. And then I look, okay, well, has he been able to outlast that through other factors? No, he's never finished top 15. Okay. His highest finished ever was 17th. This year, even worse. Obviously, he missed some games. And honestly, the biggest issue here is I don't think the opportunities are likely going to change. I mean, we're talking about a Philadelphia Eagles team who ran the ball more than every team in the NFL except for one. Okay. So there should have been plenty of opportunities, even though he missed game.
Yeah.
Okay. But he never really got a coaching staff that properly believed in him as a workhorse. Red zone touches this year, 41st. Goal line carries, 43rd.
Sheesh.
He had 3 touches on the goal line, guys. Okay. What the hell is that? Jalen Hurts, 10 rushing touchdowns this year. Boston Scott, 7 rushing touchdowns this year. Kenneth Gainwell, 5 rushing touchdowns this year. Right. Jordan Howard, 3 rushing touchdowns just this year. How many did Miles Sanders have?
0.
None. Miles Sanders had none. Okay. The fact that they drafted Gainwell means Sanders is probably never going to see over 60 targets again. I mean, this is just not a good situation. I love him as a talent, and I think there's a lot of things that Miles Sanders does really, really well. I think he does some things very well in his game. By the way, check this out. True yards per carry, 6th in the NFL last year, according to Player Profiler. Breakaway run rate was 5th in the NFL, and that's what I really want to highlight. That's the percentage of carries of 15 or more yards.
Yeah.
Miles Sanders can break away on these runs. He's just not getting the consistent opportunities. If Miles Sanders was given 20 carries a game, I'm confident that he would probably finish top 12 and he would have over, 1,200 rushing yards and maybe 6 touchdowns, right? But the unfortunate thing is, I don't know that he's going to get out of Philly. And when he's out of Philly, will anyone give him that workload? I honestly feel like his career has been completely wasted. So it's unfortunate, but I am selling him. We'll talk about what I think is a fair price to sell him away for in a second. But where do you land on this? Are you buying or selling?
Look, I am selling as well. You hit the nail on the head. I do believe Miles Sanders is never and probably will never hit his peak in the National Football League. And like you said, he's never finished top 15. And that says a lot for a running back, a guy that's drafted really high, a guy that was, in my opinion, was a risk because technically he was a backup for his whole career besides that last year until he got drafted. So I thought it was a risk when they drafted Miles Sanders in total. But the one things I look at when I think of Miles Sanders in, his situation is, do they trust Miles?
Right.
He wasn't on the field a lot, and there was a lot of things that were happening in Philly. Plus, there was one time where he got the timeout. He fumbled the ball. He got timed out. And was a lot of reasons why he didn't get the opportunity. Where you see him having really bad games. Okay, and 2 is Jalen Hurts' rushing ability. What he takes away. He has the most touchdowns on the team with 10 total touchdowns. Out of all these,
he led the team in rushing.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of like, I think of a Jalen Hurts, if he does stay long-term here in Philly, I think it's like a dead backfield unless he has a power back, which I don't think Miles is. I think of the situation kind of like Kyler Murray. Anyone that's behind Kyler Murray,
well,
besides James Conner, I mean, that was
maybe Buffalo's a better scenario.
Maybe, and maybe that as well. Maybe for me, it's either Kyler Murray or Josh Allen. Like, you don't want anyone behind them because the thought process is that they're probably just going to rush it themselves. They're not going to hand the ball off. The times that they're going to hand the ball off, to be fair, it's slim, it feels like.
Just to be fair, though, James Conner, I think, had the most touchdowns this year.
James Conner had, and that was just 1 year. Like, even before that.
It was an outlier. I agree.
Yeah, with, Chase Edmonds and when David Johnson was happening, it just wasn't the thing when you didn't want a running back with a mobile, crazy mobile quarterback. And I see the same thing with Miles Sanders. I don't think I would want to continue to invest in him or trade for him in any way because of Jalen Hurts and his rushing ability. So I'm right there with you. I am selling. I think that you just have to. You gotta give it up.
It actually sucks because I really do think Miles Sanders is a good talent, and I always say talent over situation. But as much as I don't think Jalen Hurts is the future, he might be the future until Miles Sanders is irrelevant. Do you know what I mean? Like, he might still be in that time span with Miles until it's too late, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So we're both selling. Let's talk about what a fair price is, though. Okay, so if I'm selling, I think what I'm looking for is a late 2022 first. Okay, however, I don't know that that's going to happen.
Yeah,
I'm not sure you could get that. That's what I would like to get, is a first anywhere. So it's probably not going to happen. So let's be a little bit more realistic. Here's a list of running backs I would prefer over Miles Sanders, and maybe you can make deals done. You can throw in seconds or thirds or whatever. Michael Carter, I like his outlook a little bit better, especially with what he can do in the passing game. Josh Jacobs, you guys know I'm a big Josh Jacobs guy. David Montgomery, and this one, really interesting, A.J. Dillon. Okay, I would rather take the chance that Aaron Rodgers will be in Green Bay for, let's say, 2 more years than having Miles Sanders for the next 2 years in Philly with Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, look, for me, if I am selling, I don't think you can get it first from Miles Sanders. Kind of like what Zach was saying. My expectation, my expectation is an early second, 201, 202, 203, around there. And I did big players as well. I agree with Michael Carter. I think of somebody like Michael Carter and Monty. I think of somebody like Clyde. Maybe I'll take a chance with Clyde. Ramondre Stevenson. These are low guys that some people maybe don't believe in, that maybe I like their situation a little bit better or their age a little bit better. So I'm going to be investing in those guys rather than Miles.
All right. Let us know in the comments below. Are you buying or selling Sir Miles Sanders?
Yo, what's good? Thanks for watching. We got a lot more videos.
A lot more.
If you want more videos,
watch it.
You can also subscribe
right now
if you want to.
You need to.
And lastly, don't forget that you can sign up to support the show and get exclusive content by going to patreon.com/fantasylandfam.